Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to our channel. Today is Tuesday the 25th of November 2025. We have a video for you today on the subject of rulership in Islam. Our favorite whipping boy, you could say, Faris al-Hammadi, has done a video, a relatively short one, on the issue of rulership in Islam. I should be sending some baklava over to Faris because he does provide us with plenty of material with which to beat him. He is shameless. I've previously commented on previous videos, which you're more than welcome to check out, on the issue of Ikhwan and recently on the issue of allying with the Kuffar. He provides us with ample material to show the weakness of the shameless sycophants. Faris fulfills the function of a fluffer for the UAE regime. The UAE regime is completely shameless, and his token Islamic faith his Islamic face is used to sanitize the cruel and nefarious intentions behind this nefarious regime. You have a cabal of scumbags. I call them the UAE team, which is like the A team but nefarious. And they always advance the agenda of the UAE. You've got amongst them Shahid Balsan, you've got Faris, you've got a token ex-Formula One driver, Rauda, you've got other madkhalis across the West as well. All of them have the same function, which is to sanitize the nefarious UAE regime. And the reason for our fixation on this is because the UAE has to be called out, because they are they are equivalent to Zionists. Just as we despise Zionists, we must also have the same level of ire directed towards the UAE. They have their hands in the genocide in Gaza, and they have another feather in their cap, the genocide in Sudan. And they are running like the clappers to try to provide some kind of interference on that issue. And every single time they do, they merely expose themselves. And it's shameless the way they do it. And because the UAE is trying to promote itself to the West, many people in the West are not familiar with some of the arguments that the professor, who is an avid commentator in the Middle East, has destroyed from their root, to the extent that the Madkhalis and other sycophants do not even offer any kind of rebuttal. They have been smashed around the houses. The West, we are very much in our infancy as far as promoting this message, but we are making efforts, and we do hope that if you reference our videos, you'll get a clear understanding of allegiance, allying with Kuffar, ruling, Hakimiyya, Tawheed, the proper understanding of Tawheed. This video is effectively a platform. This channel is effectively a platform for fundamental issues of usul, fiqh, and fundamentals of belief, with a strong input in towards governance. So this is what our endeavor is, inshallah, and this channel is effectively a one-stop shop for you. And at the same time, we like to promote other people's good works as well. And among them, for example, Thinking Muslim, Five Pillars, Shadi Al-Masri, Sami Hamdi, they're all producing much needed material. Also Sapiens, as well as an entire Ummatics is another very important resource, and Islam 21C. So these are all people who are on the right side of Islamic understanding, governance, and allegiance. And the UAE is at the other end of the spectrum. They are working hand in glove with Zionists, even to the extent of bankrolling and supporting Islamophobes in the West. And as we speak today, Trump has advanced a motion against Ikhwan. Ikhwan is effectively a catch-all phrase for anyone who wants to put Allah as the sovereign. Because for them, they want to put themselves as sovereign. They want to put their nefarious king as sovereign. So Faris will be up in arms about anyone who talks against his ruler, will be quiet as a mouse when Al-Madru'i says there's no higher authority than the leadership. Clear, open kufr, not a peep from him, because he is a fluffer. Don't Google that necessarily, but you'll know, and I'm being crude with my use of the term, because that's what you are, Faris. You are nothing but a sanitizer, a fluffer for the regime. and we were on your case. We don't want to waste too much time with you, but by all means, provide us with the ammunition to slap yourself in the face with. Because your words will hang you, be it in this life or the next. You have no excuse. Your takedown of Ikhwan was farcical. Because that is the new catchphrase for you, Munafiqeen. You Munafiqeen of the UAE, you are just like the Zionists. The Zionists call foul of anti-Semitism. For you, it's Ikhwan. Everything is Ikhwan. And you make a narrative. You make an image. You make a boogeyman. When you are the worst of the worst of the worst. You descendants of degenerates in the UAE regime, where the British handpicked the worst of the Ummah to police the Ummah. You are nothing. You are nothing but recipients of ire and fire in the next life. And you will be taken down. You will be held to account. We will not back down. On to today's video. The subject of understanding rulership in Islam. And spoiler alert, it's basically not understanding rulership in Islam. It's trying to subvert rulership in Islam. It's the exact opposite. But that's a spoiler for you. But Professor, I will start playing, inshallah. And just like the last video we saw, I hope you took some kind of stomach suppressants, because this will give us all a bile reaction. Anyway, I'll start off now.
When leadership, a lot of these deviant sects and political extremist sects that always attack Muslim countries, they say, they have this shubha, they say rulership, all these rulership that you have is illegitimate. وَهَؤُلَاء حُكَّامْ غَيْرْ شَرْعِيِّينَ. You heard that before? They are illegitimate, un-Islamic rulers. And this word and terminology is not known in any book of Islam, historically, modern, classical, hadith, anything. There is no such thing as hakim shar'i, hakim ghayr shar'i. Mafi. We have three categories of hukam. Hakim Muslim adil, hakim Muslim zalim, hakim ghayr Muslim. Bas. This is how the Prophet ﷺ categorized the leadership and authority with us. Yeah? The Prophet ﷺ, when it comes to leadership, they say this is hakim ghayr shar'i, not illegitimate. Why do they say that? They say only a legitimate ruler is the one that is appointed by Ahl al-Hal wal-Aqd, the people of wisdom and the people that are high in position. They unite and they appoint a leader. Have you heard that before? This is one of their shubha, doubts. وَهَذَا مِنْ جَهْلِهِمْ وَسَفَهِهِمْ. This is from their ignorance and foolishness. 3 minutes? Inshallah, I will try and finish in 3 minutes. Appointing leadership in Islam happens in 3 ways, no other ones. The first, the Prophet ﷺ did it. How? He appointed someone. Let's call it inheritance. The Prophet was a leader. He inherited, or Abu Bakr inherited the leadership from the Prophet. Sahih? The Prophet said, next after me is Abu Bakr. There was no Ahl al-Hal wal-Aqd. No people come and discuss, should we make Abu Bakr? No, should we do that? No. It was the Prophet appointing Abu Bakr. That's leader appointing a leader. Like su'al, can a leader appoint his son? Yes. There is no prohibition in that. He's wrong, he's right. Al-Muhim, this leader is legitimate. Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, companion. Who did he appoint as a leader after his death? Huh? His son, Yazid ibn Muawiyah. Sah wala la? I'm not discussing he's good, he's bad. Yeah? Because some ulama say he's bad. Sah? But his leadership, was it legitimate? Yes, Sahaba gave him Bayah. Sahaba gave him Bayah. Big Sahaba, Abdullah ibn Abbas, and all the others. You see, Bayah. He's a leader. But that's number one, inheritance. Abu Bakr gave the leadership to who? To Umar. There was no hal wal aqd. There's no committee. There's no discussion. Umar radiallahu anhu gave the leadership to Ali. No, it was hal wal aqd. people of Shura came and discussed, and they say we appoint Ali radiallahu anhu. This is way of gaining leadership number 2.
Okay, let's maybe stop here.
Okay.
I don't know who he is addressing. I don't think he is addressing Muslims or anyone who has any knowledge about Islamic history. Let's leave the word shara'i, غير shara'i, legitimate or not legitimate, first of all. Historically, his claim that Rasham appointed Abu Bakr is claimed by minority of Muslims, yes, in history. Some scholars have said that عهد إلى they don't use even the word appointed. Appointed is something else. Is something else. Like for instance, they say he appointed, let's say, Ali to guide the army going towards Yemen. There were 2 armies, one led by Khalid, one by Ali, and if the 2 armies meet, then Ali will be the commander. That's an appointment. And the usual Arabic phrase, جعل على الجيش أو أمره على الجيش, put him as Amir, put him in command, gave him appointment. While in the case of Abu Bakr, first of all, there's no clear wording say Abu Bakr is the one after me. Absolutely not. There are some ahadith, like for example, they conclude from that he appointed him or hinted that he. One is, for example, a woman said this and this, say next year come, I will give you that thing. Say, but if next year I don't find you, the narrator claims she means if you die. And he said, if you don't find me, go to Abu Bakr. And they conclude to that Abu Bakr will be the one followed. But this is just a matter of prophecy. If it is true, it's not a prophecy. First of all, let me discuss the hadith, because many people did not hear it, but this is what you find in the books usually, meaning that Abu Bakr is the most worthy of Khilafah, as hinted or appointed or prophesied by Prophet ﷺ. First of all, when the narrator says, كأنها تقصد موت, as if she means if you have died. That's the narrator claiming as his own imagination. That's not in the word of the hadith, not the word of the messenger of Allah, not the word of Allah. And he was promised her some money or something to give her. We know that Abu Bakr was the friend of Rasulullah before prophethood, and they have at least one trip to Bilad al-Sham for business. So maybe they may have been business partners. The woman is coming to get money or a gift and so on. And this relation that he's his business partner or his authorized agent to do business, because after he received prophethood, he was full-time prophet. And in Medina, he's full-time prophet and a leader. But Abu Bakr had enough time to continue his business and making living and doing also possibly management, we don't know, management of the prophet's money. So maybe she asked him for some money or help, and he said, go to my account or to my representative or my business partner. He has my account, he'll give you. So that's the imagination of the report, just to teach you how to read a hadith. I'm addressing that to the people who know a bit more of history. General English speakers do not about that. And the wording is not that I have appointed Khalifa after he, go to Abu Bakr. Even if he meant, or he knew by Wahi, Abu Bakr will be the Khalifa after him, that's just reporting something he knew from Wahi. Not that I have done it or Allah have done it. It's different. For example, if he says, for example, there will be fitna after me and things like that, and only the sword will solve it, and most people interpret it as the apostasy, the ridda. He mentioned what Allah informed him by Wahi. It doesn't say do the ridda or don't do the ridda. It will happen. It's a future event which has been permitted to happen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he gave them this information so that Omar is warned and they are alert, and things like that. So that's the one hadith they rely upon. What else they rely upon? Also, that there's the strongest one they rely upon is that in the 9th year, in the 8th year of the conquest of Mecca, no Muslim performed Hajj, because in that year Hajj was not in Dhul Hijjah. In the proper time, it was in Dhul Qa'dah, because they were shifted the month and playing games with the prohibited months. So Rasul did not attend. The conquest of Mecca actually happened when Hajj was ongoing. He did not attend. People he was coming and so on, he did not attend, nor Abu Bakr, nor anybody else. Instead, he attacked Taif and then he went back to Medina. The next year, the time shifts had been already adjusted to the correct timing. It was the Hajj was in the Hijjah, but Rasul did not want to perform Hajj. He did not tell us why. People speculate he did not want to do Hajj while Mushrikeen are circumventing the house and attending him. He wanted to attend Hajj when it's purely Islamic. Maybe. There's no report of him saying that, but people speculate. Anyway, Abu Bakr was appointed the leader of Hajj. That's the strongest hint that Abu Bakr is worthy of leadership. This is definitely a strong hint. But appointing him the leader of Hajj while the Prophet is alive is like appointing a commander of army. It does not mean he's the commander after the Prophet or not. But at that time, the supreme commander of the army, the Prophet ﷺ, appointed a commander of this division or this campaign, which is right as a head. And the head of the state in Islam is also automatically, like in America and so on, is the commander in chief. So this one, but there's a very strong hint that he's worthy of leadership. And to add that he's maybe or equal worthy to Ali ibn Abi Talib, that he sent Ali to broadcast and announce the Surah Bara'ah and announce this is the last year mushrikeen, polytheists are allowed to come to Mecca. After that, no more mushrikeen. And also announced, because there was habit in Jahiliyyah before Islam, that some people, for certain reason, some kind of esoteric reason, we mentioned that in our tafsir in Surah Al-A'raf, they circumvent the house while they are naked. And Ali has announced everyone, nobody will be permitted to go naked around the house. If you want to be naked, go back home. No Hajj. We will not accept that. Even if you no compulsory in religion, but this specific act around the Kaaba is not permitted by public order. Not to compel you out of your religion without use compulsory in religion. That's the reason all their rituals may be Islamic or not Islamic. Nobody interfere with them except this one, because this is obviously a shameless act. It's not a ritual. But whatever the reason, that's not allowed. That's an exception for no compulsion in religion. And Ali, when he went to told Abu Bakr, I ordered to get Surah Bara'ah. Before that, Abu Bakr received Bara'ah from the Prophet and he was about to announce. What he was worried what has happened is he removed from command. He went back to Medina. They were just outside Medina. And asked the Messenger of Allah, what happened? Am I removed from command? Say no, but Jibreel came say, only Ali can announce in behalf of you. Some commentators say because the Arab's habit is that a chief, if he announced something, that either he announced or someone of his household. Such important announcement or decree must be by him or by someone. That's the Arab tradition. And to comply with that, that's the guess of the people again. The people say, I did not say anything. Jibreel told me, and I'm obeying Allah's command. But Ali was under the command of Abu Bakr. Even Abu Bakr, are you Amir or just announcer? I say, I'm appointed as the announcer. You are the Amir. I'm ordered to announce, but you are the Amir of Hajj. So that's the strongest hint that he is worthy of Imamah. That's because usually, theoretically, the one who leads the Hajj, what's the meaning of the lead Hajj? Is that the one who, when, for example, in Arafat, the sun sets, he's the first one to go toward Muzdalifah, and everyone follow him. What else is leadership had to do? The managing of the affairs and traffic, people manage themselves, and the police will do it, and the head of state usually is not involved with these details. But also the symbolic leadership going to starting the way to Muzdalifah and things like that. That's the leadership. Right? But from ancient tradition, the leader of Mecca or the head of state is the one who does that. So that's a strong hint. That's all what happened with Abu Bakr. And anyone tell you that he appointed him clearly with a clear text, he's lying. He has to bring the evidence and hadith and isnad. There's none. I can assure you that. What happened? So if he did not appoint him, but he hinted that he is worthy, not that he should be. Actually, there's another good hadith about that, which mentions the three: Abu Bakr, Omar, and Ali. Uthman is not mentioned in any hadith, and Uthman being appointed was by historic mistake. But leave this out. And he said, they will ask him, well, who will be the Khalifa after you? Who will be heading us up, leading us after you? That's related by Ali himself, by the way. And this is a good isnad. I think it's in Tabarani. But this donkey does not read Tabarani or any books of hadith. In this area, he did not mention any hadith with any isnad, which show really the man is a munafiq, most like munafiq kafir, just to serve his master. So, what happened? There are many contradicting narrations and so on, and stories and counter stories. The Shia have a theory, some Sunni have a theory, these have a theory, but the best was have been narrated with the best isnad is the hadith of Ibn Abbas, a long hadith called, we call it the hadith Saqeefah. That's when Omar was about, before he died, few 1 week or two before he was attacked and killed, there was a discussion between some people that who will be the Imam after that's the hadith of Omar. In that hadith, he mentioned what happened in Saqeefah, and this is the best authority we have. That's in our research called Saqeefah ومتعلقاتها, hadith Saqeefah ومتعلقاتها. Omar reports all in the pulpit of Jum'ah Everyone is there. Ali is there. The majority of Sahaba are there, except the one in the battlefield. The majority of the biggest Sahaba are in Medina, because Umar did not allow the big Sahaba to be out. Only the medium and were allowed to go to the battlefield. Because the big Sahaba are the leader and the manager of the state. They should not be in the battlefield. They should be in the government palace, so to say, a government center. And he mentioned various issues in the khutbah. One of it, don't overpraise Muhammad. Allah told us, do not praise me like the Christian, like the Nazarene praised Isa, until he went out, elevate him from slavership. He's a slave of Allah, a servant of Allah, into a divine being, because of excessive grandification. Don't do that. I am a slave. Say he is the slave of Allah and his messenger. That's all what you, the maximum. Don't use the word Lord or Rabb. The moment you get there, the danger, the alarm bell. And I mentioned other issues about stoning. Is it abrogated, not abrogated? We discussed that in Saqeefah just casually. Saqeefah focused on the issue of war. Then he came to the topic he wanted to address. So some of you said, because Omar came back from Hajj, the year he was killed, assassinated. As he was assassinated a few weeks after coming back from Hajj. He came back in Hajj. Zubair ibn Awam said, if Omar dies, I will jump and give Bayah to Ali right away. Because the Bayah of Abu Bakr was falta, was a shot. Like you say, falta, you hold the gun, but by mistake, a shot goes out. Allah alam what happens with the shot. And I'm going to do the same for Ali. Omar said, some of you said that. By Allah, it was a falta. That's Omar saying that on the pulpit. Omar, and hold his authority. So, not Faris al-Himar. No, Omar. It was a falta, but Allah protected us from it evil, because sometimes you have a gun playing with it or threatening with it, and a shot goes, but it goes in the air, it kills nobody. You are lucky. And sometimes it goes in the wrong direction, kills somebody. It's a catastrophe. Say, like Allah waqa sharraha. How this happened? He told the people what happened. That's the best narration we have about Saqeefah from an eyewitness. He said, we were in the Masjid al-Nabawi discussing after the death of the same morning, by the way. Not the third day like Hizb ut-Tahrir claim. No, same one. It was Monday. He died Monday in the morning after Salat al-Fajr. He participated in Fajr. And after that, he passed away. After 1 hour, 2 hours. And everyone, the whole world was upside down. Someone sent Abu Bakr, who was with he has another wife in Awari, that's almost outside Medina. Outside. All distance. Medina was a small 1,000, 2,000 people, 10,000 people max. So it is the distance. 10 minutes he was there on a horse coming and say Allah passed away. He came and so on, kissed him, and the famous story. And then they were discussing what to do. At that time, the devil, as we say, the devil poked Sa'd ibn Ubadah, a leader of Ansar. This man is a well-established Muslim, definitely he's not a munafiq, but he has a psychological problem from Jahiliyyah. He wants to be dominant and so on, and he wants leadership. But luckily, because he became Muslim, he restrained himself. But whatever you restrain yourself, if you have such a characteristic, because of your upbringing, it's very difficult. And there will be lapses. Nobody is infallible except Allah. So in a lapse of moment, he gathered his tribe, not all the Ansar, he's from Khazraj. And the main tribes are the Ansar are Khazraj and Aus. No Aus was there present. Not all Khazraj, all his tribe Bani Sa'ida in the Saqeefah, in a market which is cover market. The cover market of Bani Sa'id. And they alleged to discuss how to do after the Messenger of Allah, who should be the leader. So some Ausi, most likely because of tribal rivalry, Jahiliyyah, also came and told Abu Bakr, listen, Sa'd ibn Ubadah is gathering the Bani Sa'ida and some Khazraj, discussing who will be after the Messenger of Allah, and they think he wanted to be appointed. We don't know his character. He loves leadership, loves oppression, and so on. And at the moment it broke out, he could not control it. He was controlling himself. Definitely. Okay. Let me continue, because that's important. But don't worry about them. Make your decision here in the masjid. Abu Bakr said, no, if our brothers, a group of brothers meeting in one place, separate from the rest of Muslims, we have to go and see what's the problem, discuss with them. Muslims should go, all of them work in this matter. So he went at that moment, the one were there, were Abu Bakr, who discussed with this Ausi, from Aus. Omar was with him. They were all in the masjid. And Abu Ubaidah Amr ibn Rajah, all these three. Where was Ali? The Shia claim Ali was busy washing the Prophet ﷺ and they stabbed him in the back. That's some Shia claim that. This is nonsense. Actually, according to Omar on the pulpit, and Omar and Ali is present in the masjid, not saying no, it's not true. Ali and the Abbas and some of Al Bayt and also some of their close friends like Sa'd ibn Waqqas or Zubayr were gathering in a house at the side, house of Ali or house of Abbas. Which is okay, you can gather side, but they were not doing like Sa'd ibn Ubadah, attempting to seize power. No, they were discussing what to do, which is honest and okay. But I would say, by being at the side, not in the masjid, is not something Ali should have done. It's mubah. You can stay home and discuss with other people. You are not obliged to be in the masjid. But a man of the rank of Ali and his standing should be with a Muslim in the masjid. Should not be with the Abbas like a small subcommittee. You are a man of first rank. You are a man of first rank. You should be in the masjid. So I would say is a mistake in judgment. It's not haram or anything by Ali. So Ali is the reason why he was not there. If he were there in the masjid, definitely he would have gone with them to Saqeefah. I can swear on ghaib now. Definitely. But that's the only reason. Some Sunni claim no, he was busy. Some other Shia say no, he was busy collecting the Quran. Quran is collected before and already on a Mus'haf already there. All of these masahif were there. So this is all nonsense. All people imagining things which did not happen. Well, the testimony of Omar in this one of the strongest and best hadith is the best what we have. Especially it was announced in the masjid, everyone sitting there and following him. Nobody say no, you are lying or you are not right. And unlikely that anyone let him get away with a lie or something. It's remote to assume that he lied. There's no need of him to lie anyway at that moment. That's 10 years after the event or 12 years. So he's reporting what happened in the past. So they went there and they had a discussion with the people there. So the guilty one at the first day, the real one guilty who committed a sin is Sa'd ibn Ubadah. No doubt. He should not have taken the people outside with this bad intention. No way. And the discussion became heated. Okay, essentially one of them say, these muhajirin, now Jahiliyyah came back, tribalism came back. They came, their foreigner came, became part of us. But now, and the Messenger of Allah was obviously the leader, nobody will dispute with him. But now we are this, our country, our land, we should be the ruler, the leader. Abu Bakr said, what you told about the Ansar is correct. Without them, Islam would not be successful. Like this is a matter for all Muslims, not only for Ansar, not Muhajirin. Neither Muhajirin want to resolve that from Ansar, but the Muhajirin have the leadership of Muslim. The first level of the leader is Muhajirin, and they are from Quraysh, and Quraysh is the leading tribe, a leading party. And the power structure in every society, the leading party is ultimately have to do the decision. You like it, you don't like it, the people of majority or known to be of power, because Quraysh was known in Arabia. These are the people who rule, these are the people who run the banks, these are people of leadership, not the Bedouins in Najd, nor the Ansar who were a secondary tribe. So to get everyone on board, we have to choose from the leading party, the people who have the tradition for centuries. The same in the royal system. You go to someone who have a royal descent, because nobody would dispute, because the people believe a royal descent somehow runs in the blood, and they accept that. If you suddenly get someone else outside the royal family, say, who gave him? I can also be. Then people dispute. So this is just an argument of political convenience and reasonability. And the discussion went until someone said, okay, we solved the problem by we split the nation and said in two. We have a commander and you have a commander. And both of them will be co-head of state. Omar said, it's not possible to have two swords in one sheet. There's only one sword within one sheet. Omar said, no, if that's a matter, then Muhajirun, because they are leadership from leadership tribe, and they are leader of Islam also, because Muhajirun are older in Islam and know the Prophet better than Ansar in general, in the average. Then we should be the Amir, the commander, and you should be our ministers, second in rank. Anyway, back and forth, and then people discussing, it was overheated. Omar said, in that situation, I said, Abu Bakr said, listen, I suggest to you to give bay'ah to Omar. Omar said, A'udhu billah. How can I be a leader where Abu Bakr is present? Or give bay'ah to Ubaidah. Ultimately, Omar said, no, A'udhu billah, who can dare to be a commander while Abu Bakr, who has been the companion in the cave, the famous story mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, etc., etc. I suggest to give bay'ah. Give me your hand, I make bay'ah to you. Omar said that was a blunder, and he's right, because he should not have done that. What they should have done, that's a mistake also of judgment. It's not committing haram or stealing from Ali or anything. What they should have done, say, listen, stop now, let's go to the masjid all. But in the heat of the discussion, not all the time you suggest something which is the exact and proportional. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And that's the falta. See, so I made the bay'ah, it was a falta. All Muslims should have participated at that moment. But we missed that. Omar admit it was a falta. I should not have done that. But in the situation, that was the solution. And then the Ansar there, one by one, gave Abu Bakr bay'ah until they were jumping over Sa'd. Sa'd bin Ubadah was sick at the day, laying something like a bed. They jumped over him, and someone said, is narrated, you know, in the heat of the moment, say, you are killing Sa'd. You're jumping over him and ignoring him. And someone said, or Omar said, may Allah kill him. We don't care about him. Oh, that's obviously the heat. That's a situation when you are heated debate like that. It happened to be became brothers, but they settled later. And then they went to Medina back, which is not far away. It's also maybe 1 kilometer, 7 minutes walk. They went back and then announced that to the people. And next day, I think Tuesday, all people around Medina outside came and affirmed the bay'ah Abu Bakr, so became public bay'ah. But that Omar gave the bay'ah in Saqeefah, he said it's falta. And he said that's falta, but because of Allah's grace and favor in this ummah, nothing evil came out of that. Allah protected from the evil of such a falta, because such falta could be evil. That happened, and by Allah's grace, it did not backfire, it didn't bring something evil, and in any case, even a discussion in the masjid, most people would have me choose Abu Bakr anyway, because who will compete with Abu Bakr in that? I will mention Abu Bakr and Ali and Omar in another hadith. Who would compete with them? So it happened, it fits with that, what the people would have chosen almost certainly. Because of that. But it should never be repeated. If anyone do that in the future, then he, the one who gave bay'ah, the faltawi, and the one who received them, they should not be should not be accepted from them, and both of them should be killed, should be executed as power usurper. That's the point of view of Omar. Never. All Muslims must meet. Even in a dispute, not all Muslims are present or representative. We have to go to the masjid or the place for all of them present or the representative. That's it. That's how it should be in the future. So that refused this rubbish that if there was an appointment with Prophet, a clear appointment, yeah, there was hint. This is the man who is worthy of leadership after me, and he may become, he may not. That's absolutely not an appointment. I'm not making a conclusion for him during his life. It's a mu'ahad. Make a covenant for him while he is alive. Make a conclusion for him. None of that. It's just hinting. It's just suggesting at best. And that is suggesting is after very clear from the other hadith. What's the other hadith? So this is the issue of Saqeefah. So read the Saqeefah to know that this man is blubbering absolute nonsense. Amazingly, what's said about Ahl al-Hal wal-Aqd is that all majority of scholars after that said because the majority of scholars, Muawiyah undermined and destroyed Shura and destroyed, essentially brought the ruling system of Islam into its knee. And the scholar after that could not ever argue for full Shura in the should be, so they started to find a substitute. Say, those who represent the Ummah, Ahl al-Hal wal-Aqd, as if, because according to their imagination, the Ummah cannot participate. We cannot get themselves, and we cannot return the clock back after the power has been absorbed and Shura has been essentially removed. At least we have sub-Shura, Ahl al-Hal wal-Aqd. That is a scholarly invention. It's true. It's not one time prophet. He never will. The word Ahl al-Aqd is not a Sharia word. Was no mention, nobody at the time prophet dreamed of this word. That's true. But this is a creation of the fuqaha. All the fuqaha almost say it must be Ahl al-Hal wal-Aqd, except the Shia who say it is appointed by divine appointment. That's another theory. We may discuss if needed later. Okay, so that's what happened in Saqeefah. Now we have the best what we have in matter of appointment is the hadith of the Messenger of Allah, narrated by Ali. He said, the people ask him, who will be the leader after you? Obviously hinting, please appoint someone, nominate someone. He said, alayhi salam, in tu'ammiru, if you appoint, if you choose Abu Bakr, tu'ammiru, you have to be, do the ta'mir, do the shoes of Amir, which is based on Shura. Ayat Shura is clear. Amrum Shura, but all their affairs will be settled by consultation, by Shura. But the most important affair in the society is choosing the leadership and the head of state. That's the most important. That's the first thing to be done so that the community will have a structure, a leadership, and then things after that also by shura. But this is the most primary thing to be done by shura. Because there's no other way. Neither Allah will appoint from up there, nor the messenger is already passed away. So who will appoint? Someone jumping is not allowed. And the shura, the authority in the ummah. So they will appoint that. So it starts in tu'ammiru Abu Bakr, then you will find if you appoint Abu Bakr, if you appoint Abu Bakr, you will find him, yes, his body, he's a small man. He's weak in his body, but strong in his iman. And he will be ruled with justice and so on. Trustworthy, he will not mess with his duty. And if you appoint Omar, you will find him tough and fearing no blame in Allah. He will tell you the truth, and he'll tell the truth even about him without fearing any blame. وإن تؤمروا عليا, and if you appointed Ali, so we're going to say all these three in that hadith. Ali is the narrator. وإن تؤمروا عليا, and then there's an interesting intervening sentence in between saying, ولا أظنكم فاعلين. I don't think that you will do. Why? We may discuss later. But I did not mention why he does not think they will be doing it. Maybe Wahi told them, maybe knowing the habits of the Arab, whatever. تجدوه هاديا مهديا يحملكم. You will find him guided, probably guided, hadi, hadi, guiding to the way, and he himself is probably guided, and he will carry you on the right path. There's a great praise after the praise to Ali in these three people. If you analyze it carefully, definitely Ali seems to be the one who most qualified, because if the head of state is himself probably guided, and he's the one who guides others, and he will carry them on the right way, that's the highest you can expect from a leader of state. That a leader of state is strong and say the truth boldly without caring about any blame. That's a good feature, but this is not as comprehensive as Ali. And the praise of Abu Bakr also, but not as comprehensive. I don't remember the exact word of the hadith. It's available. You can get it. It's no problem. People can Google it, for example, or go to a Shamila and just write, put the hadith, various hadith, say Hadiyan Mahdiyan Yahmilkum ala tariq. Then you will get hadith. And you can study its Islam. As far as you know, it's a good Islam. So that's what we have. There is no appointment. We can say almost with certitude there is no appointment. At best is a hint only. Is a hint. When Abu Bakr felt that he is about to die, and he felt that month before, he started asking the people, because he knew what happened in Saqeefah and being worried that things may go out of hand, and just succeeding in finishing the apostasy and starting the war with Persia and so on, motivated with his good faith and good intention for the Ummah. I don't think nobody can doubt that, even if the Shia claim otherwise. All historic evidences show otherwise. I will not answer the Shia in this video because they are a minority and their point of view can be refuted. But the Saqeefah, I discussed these points there in more detail. We are not going to settling a dispute between Sunni and Shia. We are showing that this Faris al-Hammadi and his master, because he's a slave with his Emirati, they are munafiq kafir. That's their reality. That want to expose. Not that the Shia is having a wrong point of view or right point of view. That's another issue. So, and the Shia point of view is not what this donkey says. They say the Imam is only appointed by the divine appointment. They have to find who is the divinely appointed Imam, even if he's hidden in a cave for 1,000 years. We have to discuss that when it's on the ground. So it's not even Faris al-Himar, knowing that or advocating his point. Anyway, for them, anyone who is not appointed divinely is not legitimate automatically. So the whole issue with them is completely different level. So when Abu Bakr felt that his life is ending, started consulting the people, whom and so on. As far as I know, I did not study this point very specifically, but there was no dispute about it. It seems to be the general consensus was either Abu Bakr, either Omar or Ali. And ultimately, towards the end of his life, the side of Omar became more dominant. Why? Let us discuss now. That's why. And then Abu Bakr said, "Okay, Omar is the Khalifa after me." It sounds as if he appointed him. It's not. He said after. Essentially, if you flesh it out and know how it has happened, and the discussion out would go for several months, you will recognize that it's like Abu Bakr decided, "I'll be like an election committee. I will manage the election and get the people opinion right now." It's exactly he's managing the election and announcing who has the majority. That's essentially what is it. Not even not even what they call tarshih, suggestion, because he said, خلاص, he's the Khalifa. So it cannot be appointed by her. Many people misinterpret that Abu Bakr appointed Omar. And they may be right because of the wording there. And he even wrote a document so they know this. But this is the best interpretation, knowing the style of the time. And we don't have ballot boxes yet at the time and so on. It is actually Abu Bakr, despite being Khalifa, but sufficient trustworthy by everyone, have no bias to any relative or something like that. I all Muslim agree on that. He decided I will be the election committee manager and the one who was the election, and they will count the votes. That's essentially, it was an election while he was alive, which you could say it is a valid point of view. You don't wait to the election until the imam passes. It can be done during his life. And then the one elected take over after his death, or take over a certain day, like in America. They do the election while the other one is still valid president. And this one just wait and prepare himself until the cut day, then he takes over. So it is reasonable and feasible. It's not a problem. It's a matter, I will say, matter of procedure. So that's the correct interpretation of Abu Bakr. That's what he did. Even if some say, no, he appointed, he thought he has the right appointment, say that Abu Bakr is wrong. He has no right of appointment because he was not himself appointed, like according to Saqeefah and according to Hadith and according to Shura. Then he made a wrong ijtihad. We know he has good faith, and there's no reason to think he has bad faith. Even some major Shia scholars nowadays, there's a book called the Saqeefah written by Fadlallah, the scholar of the Shia in Lebanon. The one before, not Subhi Tufaili, the one before him, which was the main marja'. And he said, from all evidence I have, even taking all the evidences narrated by Shia, which most of them are faulty and contradictory, Abu Bakr al-Shaykh is definitely not the one who would have stabbed Ali in the back. All his life show that he is a man of honesty and sincerity. So even one major Shia scholar said, no, the claim that Abu Bakr is part of the conspiracy, no, it is not acceptable. So even that. But independent of that, if it is so that Abu Bakr really thought that he has the right and did it, who is Abu Bakr? Great Sahabi number one. Is he a prophet? No. Is he infallible? No. So take it and dump it if he really said that and did it this way. But I say, it never came in his mind at all. He was just the one managing and running the election in his lifetime. And then after that, he wrote a document. After that, when he passed away, people came and then shook hands with, affirmed the result of that. And that's what made Omar a Khalifa. From the moment they shook their hand and agreed on him, he became the one in command, and his command became unrejectable unless it violates Sharia. And all his life, everyone, even small things he did, some people disputed him until he clarified why he did it. So that was Omar. The only one you can say by appointment, maybe in their sense, as this donkey claims, maybe Omar, but this will be done by Abu Bakr. And Abu Bakr is not a prophet, is not a legislator. The legislator Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the messenger is reporting his legislation. And the moment he passed away, and before that even, the deen is complete, nobody can legislate. We can deduce and try to understand legislation and deduce, or we may make mistake, that's all, but nobody can legislate, because that he can appoint by his own choice and desire is not possible. And thus, if that's what he intended, just assuming, just for a case of argument, then what he did is wrong. It does contradict Shura. But from the description historically, what we know, we can with almost certitude conclude that he was doing an election, and he is the election manager or the election controller or the election committee. That he was that. In the time of Umar, it's very obvious. What Umar said, we say appointed 6 al-Hal. No, that's not what happened. He said, it is clear, first of all, he cannot consult the Muslims in Sham and so on, who were still engaged in battlefields, still the Persian Empire was still making the fine skirmishes, and the war with Roman was ongoing. It's ongoing until today. So it was ongoing. And the people far away, there's no way to communicate with the people, hundreds and thousands of miles away. So it will be only in Medina. Now, Medina have the leadership of the Sahaba and have the cream of the Sahaba, which are resonated by the Quran. That's the Badri and the Sabiqun, the first to embrace Islam from Muhajirin and Ansar. They all, or most of them, are in Medina. So we could say this is the leadership party, and this is de facto elected or appointed by the divine. That's only a historic phase. So Medina should decide on behalf of the Ummah. So he never even entertained the idea to send to Yemen to ask their point of view and so on. Ali did that later, but this is Let's go with Omar. And then he said, it is inconceivable that anyone will be worth except those who are well established in Islam, and we know with certainty the Messenger of Allah died and he is pleased with them. And he mentioned 6 for their leader. And he was feeling very pain, said, and the people say, why don't you choose one, make an election like Abu Bakr? He said, there is no one who is so distinguished. There's one distinguished, and he knows he's distinguished, but he avoided for a reason I mentioned later, Ali. But he did not want Ali because Ali is his father-in-law. He married the daughter of Ali, and who is very close of a friend Ali. In contradistinction to what the Shia believe, he was the closest with Ali. So he did not want to mention Ali specifically as the one distinguished one who he should have been chosen, because he don't want to be accused of favorism. And Ali himself said in a later hadith when he was in Kufa fighting Muawiyah, and when it came to Omar, he did not want to appoint a specific person, which would be necessarily Ali, no doubt about that, because he felt that if I appoint a specific person and this person fail in his duty, then it will be a sin on me, will follow me in Yawm al-Qiyamah in my grave. No, give it to the Ummah and let them manage. But I can't give a list of people who are the only reasonable candidate. But he said also, whom should I appoint? Whom should I appoint? If Abu Ubaidah would have been alive, Abu Ubaidah died before. Abu Ubaidah is a matter of sincerity and devotion to Ummah is almost miraculous. So he is escaping the pressure of people to choose one by mentioning people who died. If it Abu Ubaidah, I would give him, because the Messenger of Allah said clearly, this is the trustworthy of the Ummah. So I can trust him. Because the Messenger said in a famous hadith concerning the issue of Najran, because the Najrani complained that the one collecting jizya or zakat and so on was not trusted, and he committed theft or committed taking money secretly from the treasury or things like that, or charged them excessively or asked them for bribe, whatever betrayal he did. Most likely it's Abu Sufyan who did that. And they complained to Messenger of Allah. They wrote again the treaty again, and with the witness of Ali this time. So that's in our research called the Najran Treaty. Inshallah will be finished soon and come out. And then he said, okay, I will send this man has betrayed and you complain against him. I'm removing him. I will send with you someone. Say, send with us someone who's absolutely trustworthy. We don't want to have betrayal again. I say, I will send you with you tomorrow someone trustworthy, indeed fully trustworthy. So Omar, he narrated this story also. He narrated the many Sahaba. He narrated the story. So next day, we gathered in the masjid, and Omar said, the first time ever I longed to be appointed, because Omar was afraid of leadership, that it would be sinful and he would commit problems and it would be finished Yawm al-Qiyamah. He was very sensitive at this point. But this time, because of the praise of Messenger of Allah, the one appointed to him will be having this label, the trustworthy of the Ummah, Aminul Ummah, the trustworthy of the whole nation, of the whole Ummah of Islam. So he said, I sat but lifted my head there. So my neck is a little bit tall, so I can see me. Remember, I am here. Please choose me. And say he did not choose me. He showed Abu Ubaidah. That's Umar narrating. So he said Umar was beating around the bush. No, I'm not going to fix a certain person because they're afraid of the responsibility that this person failed the duty and they will be punished in Al-Qiyamah. No. And Ali, because the relation and maybe favoritism. And he clearly was favorite. Absolutely, no doubt about that. Would be favoritism. So Ali, I cannot mention. So otherwise, Salim Mawla Abu Hudayfa is a Quran memorizer who was murdered in Ridda, in apostasy. He was in Najd, near our place, in a country of Musaylim al-Kadhab. That's my country, unfortunately. We say, because he himself say, Salim is in extreme love with Allah. If you're in extreme love with Allah, then you will never betray the trust and things like that. So that's a good credential. If you were alive, I would. So I mentioned dead people. So don't the one I would trust 100%, all of them dead, except one he didn't mention his name in this occasion because he knew people would talk about favoritism. That's Ali. But if he would have accepted this methodology of Abu Bakr, his approach seems clearly criticizing Abu Bakr approach, because when they ask him, say, if I appoint someone, then someone who is better than me did it. He was the way appointing. I had give covenant to someone. Abu Bakr did it, And if I don't appoint anybody and keep it open, then one better born, both of us, the Messenger of Allah did. And the narrator said, the moment he said the Messenger of Allah did not, I knew he would follow the Messenger of Allah. He will not imitate Abu Bakr. Although, as I said earlier, what Abu Bakr did is really just doing an election, where he's the manager of election. Yes, usually you have election committees and you have a separate authority. The head of state is not doing that. These are the safeguards of modern constitution in big societies and where nobody is having such a divine recommendation like Abu Bakr and Omar and these generation. But at that time, it is a correct interpretation. Later in the future, it should not be like that. The constitution will specify who is doing the election. Like in America, most of the election management for the president and for the central authority is done by the states. So that even central authority will not interfere. The states, the single states, will do the business in their area, and they have some details of the law in their hand and so on. As a time of check and balances, so that there will be no cheating and reduce. There will be always human failing and cheating, but this way they reduce it to a minimum. Or they think they will reduce it to a minimum. So that's what had happened. So he said, these 6 at least, I could say this will be the one between them will be issue. Someone told him, why don't you appoint your son Abdullah ibn Umar? Say, may Allah, qatalak Allah, may I declare you war. He did not say that for the sake of Allah. You want to appease me because a father is usually inclined to his son. Should I appoint someone, a man, who is not even able to divorce a bad wife? He's a weak man. Get lost. And people were urging him and so on. And you have Abdullah Umar. Then he said, okay, he would be like a 7th person as a consultant, but he has nothing to do. He cannot be elected. He's just a consultant and observer. That's it. And he appointed these 6. What happened with the 6th is that the one who is Abdurrahman ibn Auf seems to be having some standing with them. He's older or something, and he is a businessman. He said, I'm not interested in Khilafah. Listen, I don't want it. Give them the matter of doing the same thing like Abu Bakr did. I will ask the people and get the statistics and so on. I don't want it. There were 2 were not in Medina. Sa'ad ibn Waqqas, I think Sa'id ibn Zayd, they were absent. Say, these 2 I know, and I can force them to accept, take them out. So Thalatha out. Who's remaining? No, Sa'ad and Talha, I think. Sa'ad and Talha, I think. Who is remaining? Remaining. And one said, I step back. So Arba'a are out now. Who is remaining? And Abdurrahman ibn Auf is the manager. No, he has no share in Khilafah. Who is remaining? Ali and Uthman. I almost swear with ghaib that Abdurrahman ibn Auf said, I take me out of that. And the 2 others, I know them, they will take themselves out if they were here. He's hinting to the present one, to Uthman, listen, Uthman, you don't have the potential of Ali. Just be dignified and step back. And I think he trusts that will happen. Because who is Uthman to compete with Ali? Nothing. In all the life of Uthman was just a good man. He was in Habasha. He's an immigrant. He's Sabiqeen Awwaleen. He's a pious man, no doubt, but he's mostly a businessman. He has never had any political function or leadership in an army. Actually, in certain battle situation, he ran away from the battle and was the one forgiven in Uhud. That's narrated by Abdullah ibn Umar and is also in Bukhari. So he has no distinct things in matter of courage or war or in matter of diplomacy. The only diplomatic mission ever he did in the Messenger of Allah is in Hudaybiyah, when there was a possibility of negotiation. The Messenger of Allah told Umar, go and negotiate in my behalf. Umar said, I am from a weak tribe of Quraysh. I am from a small branch tribe. If you send me, they may take liberty and kill me. I cannot negotiate. But Uthman is from Bani Umayyah. Bani Umayyah are now the leader and the chief tribe in Quraysh. Maybe the Umayyad will protect them by their tribal jealousy and so on. And that's the reason, that's a statement of Umar. That's the reason I send him as a negotiator with Quraysh. That's the only function we have ever heard for Uthman in the life of Tasra. That he's a good husband to the girls and so on. And even in that, there is a certain point, the hadith hints something negative about him. So Abdurrahman ibn Auf, I think, al-ilm inda Allah. But I think Abdurrahman ibn Auf, I think he thought Uthman will take a lesson from my retreat and also listen from what Abu Ubaidah was doing in Sham. Abu Ubaidah, when a major battle is looming, he was the commander of Sham appointed by Omar, but the battle of Yarmouk happened after after he was appointed the leader of the armies in Sham, and Abu Ubaidah noticed, collected all the armies in one place at the famous history-making Battle of Yarmouk, which broke the back of the Byzantine Roman Empire, is that the man qualified to lead this army and manage the battle better than him, because he's a really army commander par excellence, is Khalid. So he gave him the leadership and became only a leader of a subunit until the battle was over. Then he took the leadership back. So this level of sincerity and honesty and devotion to the Ummah and marginalize yourself, well, that's the reason he's the trustworthy of the Ummah, Abu Ubaidah, is an example. And definitely people who are discussing that are known. So I think the Rahman expected Uthman to step back. For some reason, human nature, whatever, Uthman did not step back. So the Rahman went around and checked with the people of Medina, and then ultimately, I think the best theory, the people, again, the Shia claim he was conspiring and so on. There is no conspiracy. He took himself out and so on. There's no reason really for conspiracy. There's no good reason to assume conspiracy. Humans do conspiracies, but these people did that, and the subconscious does not support a conspiracy theory. And he said, I found that the majority of the people inclined to you, Ali, but they have one condition. That's the best what we have from that situation, because the various narration who are not really clean, like the whole area being messed by partisanship, by sectarianship in the after that. But that's the best what we have that. But they have one condition, is that you stick to the Sunnah, to the rulings and the precedences of Abu Bakr and Omar. The people have the right to say that. Essentially, the people do not want to know Ali is a courageous man and come out with the explosive things, and his sword is very sharp. They say, we don't want to experiment. We want things to go peacefully as they were. Abu Bakr and Omar. Ali said, لا ولكن اجتهد. No, but I will do my ijtihad. He has the right to say that, but I would say that's again an error in judgment, like the error in the time of Saqeefah when he secluded himself with Abbas. Someone like you, Ali, and the man is telling you that the majority wants you, but this condition, accept the condition, and then later, when you want to deviate from the Sunnah for some reason, gather them and discuss with them. Abu Bakr did that, Umar did that, but I don't think both were right because of this reason. Discuss with them, and then make a new ruling. Besides their rulings, generally, what is there special in their ruling? You have agreed with most of it anyway. But because he regarded himself as the higher in class of understanding a judgment, and maybe he is, this kind of, like say, personality assertion came through and was the reason for that. Because of that, Abdurrahman ibn Auf is the election manager. And he took comply with the condition of the people, because this was clear condition. Everyone said, oh, Ali is excellent and so on, but he is very impulsive, he is very hot-blooded, he is young. Make a condition of him that he does not deviate or does not leave the Sunnah of Abu Bakr and Umar, which is a reasonable condition. Abu Bakr and Umar Sunnah is excellent. There's no problem with that. So what's the problem with that? But because Ali is regarding himself that he is more knowledgeable than them and have more sharper intellect, and definitely he had. And he's better as a judge. He definitely is better than both of them, no doubt. But in that he should have accepted and then negotiate with the Ummah the Shaykh. What's the problem with that? Still, the Ummah is the one who had the authority ultimately. That was a lapse. Then he turned to Uthman. Okay, you are the next one. Do you accept the condition? Yes, I accept the condition. And then it went to Uthman. It should not have gone. First of all, Uthman should not have made that blunder, putting himself forward. You are not qualified. Abdurrahman ibn Auf is more qualified than him. And he took himself out, hinting for you. And also other Sahaba took them from leadership in favor of someone who's more qualified for a job. The sincere, the good ones like Abu Ubaidah. Take some of them. At that moment, human desire, whatever, poked them. We don't know. And it happened. And Ali gave Bayah in the same situation. All of them gave Bayah. That's it, khalas. It's clear, everything is public. And he was the best supporter of Uthman, advisor. And in the final phase before his killing, he then gave him the final advice, and Uthman accepted and regarded that he was mistaken to listen to these satanic Bani Umayyah and so on, and overcame his weakness, and then Bani Umayyah and Muawiyah killed him. That's an issue we discussed in the channel of Asil, and the book will come out of that. So that's what's happened. So these six are not Ahl al-Hal al-Aqd, like this donkey things. Al-Aqd with the people of Medina. And the narration says, Abdul Rahman asked everyone, even girls, because many of the tribes in Medina were having some kind of Arab tradition that unmarried girls will not go out of the house except for necessity. That's not a Sharia ruling, but this is a tradition. يقول مخدرة, those in Khudur. You say, even those in Khudur who never go out, he went and asked them, no, listen, people discuss with Ali and Uthman, which one you prefer, and they answer him, even Mukhaddarat. Obviously, the one who go out and so on, they have such a long tongue. The Arabs are sharp-tongued anyway, and they're almost shameless sometimes. Why Ali was essentially, they put this condition, and why when Abu Bakr did the election, I call it election, and I think it's objective nature of the election. Why Abu Bakr concluded with Omar, and the majority was on the Omar side. That's in a hadith, a discussion between Ali, because Ali was upset obviously about that, because he thinks it's more worthy maybe, especially after Abu Bakr, the time Abu Bakr. Later on he became friend of Omar, and they became honey on butter, as they say. And Abu Ubaidah, they say, my cousin, because they are of the same age, and the Arab usually address someone the same age as my Ibn Ammi, the son of my uncle, my equal. And if he's much younger, they say my nephew, the son of my brother, because he's younger than you. And someone older than you, say my uncle. That's the way they address يا ابن عمي. Wallahi anta ahlul laha. You are deserving khilafah more than anybody else. But you know your people, the Arabs, they almost never give rulership to a young man like you. You are too young for them. The Arab is obsessed that leadership should be by the older one, 40 and up. And at the time Abu Bakr with the Saqeefah issue, and at his death time, what was the age of Ali? Ali was, the revelation came at Ali is 7 or 10, let's say 7, plus 13 years in Mecca, that's 20. Yeah, plus the 10, 11 of the first is actually full 10, that's 30. And then Abu Bakr 2 and 3 was 33. Even the American Constitution required the president to be 35. All nations have this obsession. We don't take a head of state someone 25 years old. It's too young, too inexperienced. That's the feeling of the people, not only the Arabs, even the Americans, everyone in the world. So that's Abu Ubaidah tell him. But you know your people and their mentality. They will not appoint, if they have ever opportunity to appoint someone or choose someone, they will appoint only shuyukh, people over 40, 50, because of experience and life experience. They will not go to a young man. Also with the belief, even if this young man is bright like hell, radiating, if Allah gives him life, his turn will come in the future. And he will gain more experience under this old leadership, but stable leadership. And then later on, he has been pruned and developed and so on. And this is the logic in almost every constitution. Usually such high ranking jobs, the demand of a minimal age. A minimal age is usually demanded. And that's what and I think that's the motivation which has happened in the case of Abu Bakr. The people choosing, not Abu Bakr who is out, said Omar, give preference. The people person was clearly for Omar, most likely because the age issue. At that time, Omar was exceeding 50 something or 45 and so on. So mature age. That's the reason, or they say Prophet al-Wajri, they accept Isa ibn Maryam is an odd singularity, is a miracle in himself. They are usually appointed prophethood after they reach 40, not before, until mature. That's the feeling of the people, and it seems to be the reality of the universe suggests that. That's the reason, and that's what Abu Ubaidah told him openly. My cousin, the reason is that you know your people, you know your Arab, Muslim or non-Muslim, they will not give preference a young man over a sheikh if they're almost comparable in virtue, obviously. If all shuyukh are bad, then they will take the young man. But we have shuyukh who are also the same rank like you. Abu Bakr, Omar, they are over 45. You are still 33. For them, they are young man list. They want you to mature and make it. Then later on, it will come to you. And that's what has happened. When the issue with Uthman happened and was killed, there was no election before that, nothing like no process. And the people came to Ali in his house. Now Ali learned the lesson of the past. Say, I will not accept your bay'ah here. We go to the masjid in the public and call everyone. And he did not rely on that. He sent to all regions of the Islamic world, to Yemen, to Kufa, to Basra, to Egypt, and to Sham, with people taking the bay'ah and having people either thumping or signing the one who had a seal or something for the bay'ah. and the Bayah came in big volumes, sheet after sheet, on camelback, except Sham, the criminal Muawiyah ordered his thugs to intercept the people coming to take Bayah and prevent them from entering Sham by force. And the beginning of the split and the war started this way. So the one who was elected the best election possible, the previous also is an election, but it's limited because of certain condition. Here it is the whole Ummah participated, except the rebellious Muawiyah. So where is there, you can argue with convincing that it is appointed with someone. The only one you could have the shubha that it is appointed according to his wish, without any consultation, which is false. It's not true historically, but you may, someone who doesn't read history correctly, like this Hammar, this donkey, is Abu Bakr. And if Abu Bakr did it really and did that mistake, it's a mistake. We have to tell it, thank you very much, you are mistaken. Don't accept. Because Allah and His Messenger did things before you in a well-established way. Even the Messenger also claimed that what appointed Abu Bakr is a lie, is a blatant lie. Contradict all the hadith I mentioned and the agreement of all scholars of Islam, except few minority who, as out of stubbornness and attempt to insult the Shia or hurt them, claiming Abu Bakr is appointed by the Messenger, matter was not left loose. Because the Shia argue it is not possible for the Messenger to leave the Ummah loose with that appointment. And these idiots answer saying, yes, he appointed Abu Bakr. But it's not true, neither. Because the statement is not befit for the Messenger to leave the Ummah without commander. No, it's very well befitting, because the Ummah has a commander. The whole Ummah is the commander. They have the Shura by appointing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's finished. Quran finished it. But they went in a dream world of necessity of Imam, necessity of Prophet. All of that's not true. That's a philosophical creed issue essentially there. So leave that. So that's it. So even these 6 chosen by Omar, they are actually candidates. They are not Ahl al-Aqd people in Medina, including girls who never went out and they're behind the veil, which Abdurrahman asked them. So he does not know how history has worked. He's a completely himar. So that's concerning that. So the only way, except the Shia, which we answer them based on creed and philosophy essentially, is not based in history. History answers clearly. They can't escape from it. Especially now with all the hadith and also their own narrations. There is absolutely no escape from that. Is that ultimately the authority is the Ummah. In the specific time about the Prophet and after him, there's part of the Ummah who is exonerated like a leadership party by divine appointment. That's the people of Badr and Sabiqin Awwal Muhajirin and Ansar. It seems to me that was also in the mind of Ali when he wrote to Muawiyah in the dispute, telling him, you have no right to object to anything, because the one who gave me bay'ah are the one who are accepted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as representing the Ummah, the people of Badr and the Sabiqin Awwalin. So Ali understood why the Quran praised this and the Sunnah praised these special people. The nation is just now emerging out of it, coming into existence. It's a new nation. And in that phase, for a limited time, maybe one generation, there will be a group of people who are essentially represent the Ummah and have their shura, at least for that phase. And who is this group of people? How we can find them? Allah clarified them in the Quran. And the Prophet clarified in the hadith of Badri. But the Badri is also Mustabiqin Awwalin. They have an extra bonus. That's it. That's the only thing there. After that, after this generation is died, who was the last gone? Maybe the year 60 after Hijrah or year 70. There was no Badri, no Sabiqin Awwalin, only secondary one. Nobody is better than anybody else. Anyone there, Sahabi, Tabi'i, newborn, all is out of this class. So everyone is equal to anybody else. Your voice, a voice from Muslim slave in the year, let's say, after all Sahaba have expired, that is the year 111, 112, there was no Sahabi left in the world, they're all gone. And 112, a slave, a Muslim slave, a free man, a free woman, all of them have equal vote. There's no distinguished group. That was only for a historic situation, designed and hinted to, not clearly about by the revelation. So the praise for the Sabiqin Awwalin Muhajirin Ansar in the Quran hints that these are the cream of the Ummah. So if there's any dispute, refer to those. That's it. You can trust that, but that's it. Without saying that they have the authority of the Ummah. But you deduce from that and just justify that Ali, time of Ali, he did not even rely on that. All these gave him bay'ah, no doubt the majority of them bay'ah, and in Medina, but he was not satisfied that he sent getting bay'ah in writing with thumbing and so on from all areas of Muslim world, including Sham. But in Sham, the thugs of Muawiyah intercepted them with the sword, saying, "No, we don't allow you to come. You are the killer of Uthman." And then the whole fitna, the whole civil war started. So that's what has happened. If you want to deduce Hakam Shar'iyya, deduce from that and from Quran first, but the practice of the Sahaba can hint you their understanding. And the best there is, I said, the hadith of Saqeefah, and Omar has the most eloquent understanding of that, and understanding that what happened in Saqeefah was a mistake, etc. And this is narrated properly, and nobody ever objected, and Ali confirmed it when he became Imam, and all of these things. And but you have to do some hard work in history, because it was confused by partisanship, by someone inventing hadith, someone counter-inventing, and so on. But you have to, if you go through that with a objective idea, objective devotion, you will get. So that's it. Now that's how Imam is appointed.